Hello everybody, I'm Anita. I know we haven't spent much time together, but I know that before we talked about our love for music and we all share and how it resonated deeply inside of us. We could feel music through different tones, through different speeds, through different emotional value. And music is a form of art, but however, I will not be talking about the kind of music. Today, I will be here to inform you about a specific artist, Salvador Dali. He has shown many impactful messages through emotion and politics in his pieces. His pieces are very detailed, very intricate, and they can have lots of meaning depending on who's viewing it. I have been researching Mr. Dali for the past few weeks, and I'm here to tell you what I've learned. I will be explaining how Dali created art through his background, his unique style, and how he helped impact the world. I'll be starting off with he was born on May 11th, 1904. He was born in Spain and raised, and his father was a lawyer, so his mother, who noticed his passion for art, pursued him and told him that he should be able to pursue his love for art, and he did. He traveled across many different countries so that he could focus on art. When he was in Spain, he practiced Renaissance landscapes and portraits, and then he soon moved to the US so that he could further study not just painting, but he also pursued theater and art and fashion. And I got all that information from an article on Grove Arts. And one key detail to remember is that Salvador had an elder brother when he was born. When the elder brother was born, he only lived to 9 months old, and his name was also Dali, Salvador Dali, and he died from gut cancer. So when Salvador Dali first learned this, it impacted him emotionally from a young age all the way to the end of his life. He always thought that his thoughts weren't his own. He always thought that whatever he was thinking, it wasn't originally his, and it really messed up with his brain, and he couldn't think clearly, which also escalates to how crazy his art is and how different it is. So the way his art is formatted is that it's kind of dreamlike. Everything seems like a hallucinogen, an illusion, and there was more than one way to interpret his artwork. For example, he could have an artwork with lions, grasshoppers, different sorts of animals, but if you really backed up and you squinted and you looked at the piece, you'd notice it was a face. But then when you came in and you came closer to the piece, you would see how all the animals are interacting with each other, and in turn, this also shows you how you can interpret the piece. There was many different ways. Maybe the lion was hissing at the grasshopper for some metaphorical reason. It was 1930s, everybody had their own reason. And as I mentioned before, he did have an interest in psychology because of his name. And he wanted to create impactful sceneries with his paintings that created thoughts and ideas which helped bring change into the world. In 1921, Dali joined the Surrealist movement. One of Dali's most famous paintings, The Persistent of Memory, consists of 3 melting clocks, and the background is his favorite beach which he grew up on. There are many different ways to interpret the piece, but the main one is that all the clocks are melting along with your memories, and that your memories will always go away, or they can always come back if the beach pushes the clocks back onto the sand. It's important to note that when World War I ended in 1918, there were still effects, and many people suffered from the loss of their loved ones, and there was just chaos around the world. So making art was the only way people could not only inspire others, but inspire themselves. In the article, Salvador's Legacy by Edward Burns, The author mentions that even though the war is over, there are still issues such as religion, sexism, poverty that needs to be brought into light. And art was the perfect language to convey to everybody, no matter the language barrier, that these issues still needed to be solved. And it was possible through all of Dali's details that everybody could interpret the piece differently, which allowed for many people to come together and form ideas with each other and talk about how a piece should be like this or how a piece should be like this. To conclude, Dali is one of the many artists Dali was one of the many artists that wanted to show they were still fighting for a brighter future. He wanted to spark creativity into others and get people thinking and hoping for the future, even though the present was looking grim. His use of metamorphic, dreamlike paintings. Today, I hope that you were able to learn more about artist Dali, his artwork, and how he impacted the world. Thank you for listening.